for just about everybody playing them.
You still have that set, don't you?
No, I got a set like that.
Oh, okay.
Got a set just like the ones I had on that record you were just playing.
Yes.
Of us at Royal Albert Hall. That was a Ludwig kit.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a Fives kit. That's our local made in Texas drums. I play them. Chris Layton plays them.
Mm-hmm.
We have a little mini DW type specialized setup here in Austin that makes drums, Fives. So I got a big oversized kit.
Did John Bonham, did he used to show up to some of your gigs in Texas? I'm not sure if it was Cracker Jack. I've heard Bruce Boland talk about this.
Yeah.
And when he come to jam with you guys, he'd want to play James Brown tunes. Is that correct?
Yeah, I wouldn't really. I don't know if it'd be cool to say what he said or not.
That's okay. We could just fill in the.
It was like this. I said, "You want to sit in?" He said, "Sure." I said, "What do you want to do?" He said, "Some African American stuff." Except he didn't say African American.
Is that right?
So you can take it from there.
Okay, but he wanted to play some funk, huh?
Old funk. He had a little bit of an odd idea of what that meant, you know. But he's the only guy that ever moved my 26-inch bass drum.
He's a hard hitter, wasn't he?
No one ever moved that drum but him. He's the only guy I ever saw move one anywhere.
I saw Led Zeppelin in Louisville in '77, and just watching Bonham from a distance was mesmerizing. It's just the way the guy played and attacked these drums. It was scary. It was surreal. It was surreal. But, and Tommy, bass influences for you.
Actually, my first influences weren't really bass players. It was like Little Richard and Chuck Berry, and on through the years, people like those people, Jimi Hendrix, changed my life. Yeah, it changed my life. As far as bass players go, Willie Weeks is my biggest influence. He's playing with Eric Clapton now. Yeah, that's amazing. That's going to be a good band this time around. Dole Jr.
Yeah.
Or Dole.
Willie Weeks is an old friend of ours.
Willie was playing the same club as us in Dallas, and when we weren't playing, and their band was, well, me and Tommy would go down there, and every chance we had to sit right on the front row, so we could watch Willie Weeks play.
Gosh, I know he's a great player, an amazing player.
Yeah.
So basically, though, really, when you heard Jimi Hendrix, that just took everything that you'd learned in the 50s and the early 60s. Of course, the early 60s, there wasn't a whole lot going on. I mean, unless you were into Frankie Avalon, and I guess.
Yeah.
unless you listened to XERB out of Texas. But basically, you took your influences, and Jimi Hendrix just kind of it all made sense, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He kind of turned my life upside down.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever done that since then.
Well, Tommy, as you and I were talking the other night on the phone, I've always loved Jimi Hendrix, but the older you get, and the more you listen to Hendrix, it's so deep that you pick up nuances and different things.
You still hear
I know, yeah, you still hear little things. I heard something the other day I'd never heard before, just some little note. And, it's like it just keeps getting deeper and deeper.
It does, man. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. But basically, anyway, when you're in Texas, and I'm kind of backtracking, that was kind of your after seeing Hendrix, that was kind of the blueprint to move forward with what Johnny Winter was doing in his Texas style of blues, right?
Yeah, we were off and running after we heard Jimi Hendrix. We were pretty much off and running and had some sense of direction as to what we could do and not be copying him.
Well, more or less that's what Johnny said. He really he said you more or less, he owed you a lot for pushing him in that direction, John.
But we stuck with him. He didn't know anybody else that would stick with him and not make any money like that. we were the first guys that had enough faith in him. All those old club musicians in Houston, they didn't see it. So they wanted to make some money or they didn't want to do it. But me and Tommy, we knew that Johnny Winter was going to be good if he would just keep us, and the three of us together could create something special. We knew that. We felt it from the beginning. Oh, yes.
And it was... I really, I've said this before, I love the Columbia releases. They're great, but there's just something very special, something very honest about that first Progressive Blues Experiment. It just blows me away every time I listen to it. It's just, there's no overdubs. It's just you guys playing live.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite record we did. We did that on a little 2-track machine. At the Vulcan Gas Company, this club here in Austin. And you're right, it's just raw, us sitting up there and just playing.
It has great ambience.
Oh, yeah, the ambience is wonderful on that. It sounds like there's a lot of distant miking. And
if we had a bunch more equipment, it would have sounded more like Led Zeppelin.
There's just something very cool about it. I love it. My cousin... Now, he handed me that record one Christmas, and I went, whoa, this is interesting. And when I listened to it, it just blew me away. I love it. It is, and we've talked about it. It's been re-released in the past few months by, I think, Capitol remastered it. And
it's been re-released so many times I can't even keep up with it.
Are you talking about the Progressive Blues?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I sure wish somebody would give us a little money for that.
Yeah, really.
If you're out there listening, all you fine labels out there who are there to help us.
We never got nothing for that.
Really? Not a dime?
Oh.
Nope.
Gee. Things have got it... never mind. We're not going to even go there. But if you're listening out there and you have something to do with this Progressive Blues Experiment, pay these guys, would you please?
Please.
Please give us
stipends.
Give us some money so we can have some coffee at least.
Wonder how many owners it's had now.
There's no telling. Who actually...
Credit card debts.
Ain't that the truth?
I don't know who owns the debts anymore.
I wonder. And who actually owned the masters on this in the beginning?
Bill Josie, he died, so that didn't help the cause any.
Right.
From there, it was just kind of up for grabs. One label would sell it to another label, and as far as anybody actually owning the record, nobody really did.
Of course, nobody admits it now, do they? When it comes time to paying somebody.
Right.
Oh man.
People probably don't even know who. They probably never heard of Bill Josie.
Right. Well, what was that label? Was it Sonet? S-O-N-E-T, or what was
Sonobeat.
Sonobeat originally. Yeah.
Okay.
He got sold to Liberty United Artists first.
Yes. That's the copy I got back when I was in high school, was on Liberty.
Yeah.
Well, did Steve Paul, was he hip to that record? Did he hear about it? How did he actually... There was a Rolling Stone article around 68 or 69 about you guys.
Yeah.
That hipped him to you guys. He come looking for you, correct?
Well, he come looking for Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there, too. I don't think he always wanted to get Johnny with some New York guys. But Johnny was cool enough that he knew what he wanted, and he knew that would not be the thing for him to do at the time. But Steve Paul, he was okay. He helped us a lot. I don't mean to badmouth him too much. He did a lot, helped us a lot, but he was never really interested. He always had his own idea about what Johnny Winter should be.
Right.
It didn't really include us.
Yeah, I mean, that happens a lot, with management or record companies where they want to get hold of the main guy.
Yeah.
Isolate him and keep him to themselves so they can control him more.
Right.
Kind of like Johnny Lane.
I know, and